Alright guys, today we're going to do something very exciting. We're going to make a super popular Indo Chinese street food, which is Hakka Noodles. We're going to make it with some chicken. Shout out to my sister for inspiring me to make this recipe. This is going to blow your mind. And for those who love spice, you can really control the spice levels on this dish to really make it your own. And I'm also going to share with you an unspoken rule that goes hand in hand with Chinese cooking. And even though this is Indo Chinese, I'm going to follow this one rule because it just makes that much of a difference. So first things first, I have a large pot of water here, which I'll be bringing up to a rolling boil. And when that happens, we'll start seasoning it. Now in the wok over here, I'm going to add in some sesame oil, but you can use other types of oil to make this as well. I'll talk about that a bit later. And before we go any further, just a heads up, the full recipe will be on the website. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know what was coming up. So if you want the behind the scenes, be sure to check me out over there. And I am trying my hand at TikTok. Pretty new at that, but I would really appreciate your support in growing my TikTok at the same time. Link this down below as well. Okay, let's get back to it. So now add in your thinly sliced garlic right in that oil and let that saute for at least 30 seconds up to a minute. Stir that ever so often just to make sure it doesn't start to burn, and then add in all of your strips of chicken as well. You can see that the chicken is cut in a very similar thin strip, just like the garlic. Of course, not as thin though. Add that all in there and just make sure to toss it well to really coat it with all that oil. And once coated, just layer it in one single layer so there's no overlap, so we can get a nice sear on that chicken. Now check and adjust the heat just to make sure you're really getting a good sear. And in the meanwhile, my water has come up to a rolling boil, added the salt, and here I'm adding in my noodles. We'll just let that cook as per the package directions. Now back to our wok. The chicken is starting to get some color. At this point, add in your salt and some freshly cracked pepper. Add that if you can. It always adds so much more flavor. Make sure to give it a good toss just to season the chicken well, and then we'll continue to cook this chicken until you have a really nice light brown sear. Now keep stirring it just to make sure the garlic does not burn. The garlic will start to turn pretty kind of reddish brown, but we don't want to let it turn black. Now while that's happening, here are our other veggies. So some finely sliced ginger, onion, poblano peppers, which I've sliced as well, adds a nice amount of heat, carrots and green chilies. And what you might notice by the shape of the chicken, the veggies, the ginger, garlic, is everything is cut the same shape. It's the rule of shape that comes with Chinese cooking, goes hand in hand. It's just something that we should do because it affects the way we eat the dish. It'll be strange if you're having long noodles with some long strips of chicken and then you get cubed peppers. It just changes the entire texture of the dish. And if you don't believe me, try cutting every vegetable a different way and then try making it this way where everything is cut the same way, and tell me if you found a difference in how much you enjoyed the dish. Did it affect the texture? Did it affect your perception of how good that dish was? I'm pretty happy with how good that chicken is looking right now. The garlic is nice and toasted as well. So now start adding in your veggies. So no particular water, just dump it all in. Your chilies, your carrots, your peppers, and your onion as well. Don't forget that ginger. That's gonna add a really good amount of fragrance. Some other fragrance you can use or aromatics you can use are the white parts of a scallion or green onion. That's also amazing. You can add that towards the end of the dish. Make sure you just toss that well again, coat it with the oil while we check on our noodles, which are basically done at this point. So if you see your wok starting to get that brown kind of sticky substance, add a splash of water and get that kind of deglazed. Otherwise, if it turns black, it's gonna kind of ruin the color of the dish. Now for those noodles, add in a bit of sesame oil just to prevent them from sticking as it sits, and we wait for our veggies to be done before this is ready. Now I love sesame oil so much that I'm going to use it on everything throughout the dish. But for those of you who might find it overpowering, you can only finish at the end with sesame oil and then cook the entire dish with either Indian mustard oil or olive oil. And there are some other oils you can use which are great for stir fries and noodle dishes like this, which I've detailed on my website. Now these veggies are looking to my liking, half cooked, crispy and cooked. Now start adding any seasoning. So your soy sauce, just a bit, just for a bit of color and flavor. Some of this chili garlic sauce, and the amount of this is really gonna push the spice level. So don't add too much. I would stick with about a tablespoon, and then some rice vinegar just to help kind of balance out those spicy flavors in there. Add a pinch of salt and then just start mixing this well. Coat everything with those 3 simple ingredients. Now this is looking perfect. Just look at that shine. It's gonna smell incredible, and all you gotta do now is put in your cooked noodles. And it's great to have the noodles done before you add it to your stir fry, because the veggies and the chicken, the meat, is our priority. We can't let that sit, otherwise the color will change and it's gonna turn kind of dry. Now tossing is key. Gently use tongs, or my preferred way is just toss the wok or your pan instead. The whole fun of having noodles is getting those long strands of noodles hanging down your fork and then you slurping it up. I don't know, that's just how I like it, and I hope you can appreciate that. Taste it and adjust it as per your personal preferences, and this dish is ready to be served. Just look at that grand platter, and believe it or not, I had most of it the same day. It's just that good. Now for those of you who are kind of hesitant in trying new cuisines, I hope this is a good starter into getting into a new cuisine, just dipping your foot in. And it is always enlightening to learn these new things, and to help really push you more towards it, I have a full free guide linked down below just to make cooking more fun for you, and it's really going to help challenge you in your journey, which you can keep all to yourself. I'm just here to help you with your journey. And if you guys live to cook just like I do, then be sure to subscribe to this channel. I have a couple of years of experience working at a professional kitchen, at several ones actually, and I hope to use those skills to really present you a dish in a way that just makes your life in the kitchen that much easier. So hit me up if you have any questions. You can DM me right on Instagram, and share this recipe with somebody who wants and is craving and needs a great weeknight recipe. This comes along so quickly, and if you want to pair this with a nice drink, especially in the rainy season, use my homemade masala chai or something sweet like a mango lassi. And if you love this recipe, check out my chicken seekh kebab as well. I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.